Well, the average white American commits significantly less crimes than any other group of people.
Absolutely wrong. Completely wrong. Look at the statistics. Do your research. You're wrong.
Do
And
you
our own government says that.
you don't think that we have more cartel violence coming from these immigrants rather than white Americans?
You're right. Correct. That is what I think.
What you just watched is a clip from my most recent video, where I went and interviewed a number of protesters at a No Kings rally. Now, I found this clip specifically so interesting because I feel as though it represents a disconnect going on in modern society. When you first witness it, it makes you ask, how could somebody go out there and say, yeah, I think white people are the most violent ones in our society? Especially in cartel violence, which, if you watch it closely, you see I specified cartel violence. And he went right along with it because his argument isn't actually coming out of a place of, we need to make a change in this country. We have these issues with our own citizens. It's instead rooted from a hatred of white people. And that seems crazy at first. How could a white person be so anti-white? And that had me wondering what caused this, because I don't believe that this man was just insane in any way. He was very respectful when I talked to him. He seemed somewhat grounded, but completely disconnected from the actual state of affairs. So I did some digging. And after a very short period of time, I believe I uncovered the root cause of this. Upon your screen right now, what you are seeing is a number of news articles, opinion pieces to be more specific. What do all of these pieces have in common? They all are strongly anti-white. They talk about the issues of whiteness and how it's a problem to our society, the problem with white people. What's wrong with them? This is what our media is putting out, and all of these headlines, these aren't coming from some kind of underground writer with absolutely no following. No, these are coming from somewhat established institution. These are coming from Vogue. These are coming from the Medium. These are coming from the New Yorker. Legitimate, somewhat respected journalist institutions are publishing these. That's how strong anti-whiteness has gotten into our nation. And if that doesn't convince you that the media is specifically pushing out an anti-white narrative, I'd like you to watch this clip from CBS with me.
This week has led many Americans to consider issues of race with a fresh urgency, but coming to grips with our own attitudes can be a challenge. It's one addressed in a groundbreaking book, and in the workshops, it is now inspired. Together, they've helped thousands of people look deep into themselves as they look to change the world around them. Across this nation, outrage wears many colors.
My sign says white silence equals white violence because white people are the people oppressing black people.
Did you see it? Did you catch it? Even more anti-white propaganda. The idea that white people must speak out or we are somehow oppressing. Who are we oppressing? They will never tell you how we're oppressing anybody. Because the truth is, white people are not oppressing any group in this nation. In fact, when they have carried out studies on this, it shows that white people are one of the only groups who don't actually see much race. We are one of the only ones to not show legitimate favoritism to people of our own sect. In fact, we are the only group who will show favoritism against white people. And it's this media that they're pushing that is creating this idea that white people are oppressive, white people are the root of evil. This is where the disconnect comes in. When you take a gentleman like that, where do you think he's getting his information from? These liberal journalist organizations who are pushing out not news, but straight propaganda. They are trying intentionally to make men like him have a self hatred of his race. And when we make a claim like this, it's really important because, excuse me, it's really important to analyze why this would be happening. Because I could say anything. You could, in theory, you cherry pick evidence enough and you can prove just about anything you want to. I could say an absolute crazy take, cherry pick evidence, and convince people of it. But this is why it's so crucial. Why would they want to do this? Why would any organization want to dehumanize white people, make them feel guilty of their own skin, make them feel disconnected from their history. Well, that's just it. They want to make them disconnected from their history. And why would they want to do that? Because the people who are divided are easier to crush. They want to crush the white nations. And why white people specifically? Why not another group? Well, every single major power in the world outside of a couple of Asian nations are European ethnically based. These are all nations which come from European culture, European ethnicity, European values. So, what's the goal with crushing whiteness? Well, the goal of this is to make us feel disconnected from our deep rooted history in Europe, a very powerful history. Make us feel divided among each other. Make us feel as though we don't fit in to our own nation so that they can crumble it, completely diversify it to the point where we no longer have anything in common with each other so that we can, excuse me, so that they can control us. That's the goal here going on. So what have we done? We've shown intent. We have shown what they are doing. We have also shown why they would be doing it. And this explains why a gentleman like that would behave in such a way. Because of his own white guilt and white hatred. Now, that leaves the final question, who is doing this? Who would be so interested in crushing whiteness? Because as I said previously, it's white people who control all the major nations. They're all European. They're all European ethnic nations, all coming from either European conquerors or European in themselves. So if Europeans have the power, why would Europeans attempt to tear themselves down? That doesn't make any sense, does it? Well, newsflash, it's not the Europeans. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's this ancient nomadic group who has had a great deal of influence in history, who may be known for coin clipping, who may be known for child sacrifice, who may perchance be known for a current genocide going on right now. I'm not going to tell you it's that group, because if I tell you it's that group, this video gets taken down and I'm no longer allowed to produce content. So no, it's not that group. Don't worry. But if it's not that group, who is it? Right? Just think about that. I'll let you answer the question of who is doing it so that I don't have to, so my channel doesn't get taken down. But that covers all the major points. Why does he think this way? And why do millions of other Americans think this way? What is the root of causing this issue? Why do they want people like him to think this way? And finally, who is doing it? So that makes up the general video. I appreciate you watching. If you want more interviews, and you want to watch the full interview with that man, completely unedited, by the way, none of the interviews I clipped down or anything. I wasn't going there to make anybody look stupid. I was going there to hear what Americans are thinking, both what I agree with and what I disagree with. So if you are interested in that, go check out the previous video. And if you made it this far and you enjoy my content, like and subscribe so that you don't miss another video. Thank you very much, and you have a great rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this. God bless y'all.